Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being with us today. My name is Jane. I am the Employer Solutions Manager for the CIPD here in the Middle East. Today, we'll be talking about the route to membership, the non-study route to membership for the CIPD, which is the Group Experience Assessment. On our agenda, we'll be giving you a brief about who the CIPD, who we are. The Group Experience Assessment will have a deep dive into the process, what's included, the benefits, and what you get out of it as an individual and as an organization. And then we'll be hosting two of our most recent members who went through the Group Experience Assessment and have become CIPD members. Of course, as we go, you can ask us any questions in the chat box, or if you want, we can also have a Q&A session at the end of this session. CIPD, well, we started about 100 years ago. We started as the Welfare Workers Association in the UK. And since then, we've come a long way to be the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development. We have 4 offices across the globe, which is in Ireland, the UK, where our headquarters are, and our office here in the Middle East in Dubai, and the one in Asia, which is located in Singapore. We are an organization that is membership based. As you can see, most of our members come from the UK, and in the past 2 years, we've seen a significant increase in our members in the Middle East. And we think that was probably due to COVID, especially that people had a lot of time on hand to go through the experience assessment process. Now, what is the Group Experience Assessment? It's a service that we provide for organizations where they have 5 or more professionals that would like to become CIPD members and have their experience accredited. And it's a flexible route to the CIPD membership, where you don't have to study any qualifications. It is purely based on your day-to-day experience in your current job role. Now, what are the benefits of doing a group experience assessment? You get, as a professional, as an individual, you get the professional recognition. It's time efficient. It takes about, from start to finish, it takes about 4 months. It's not a qualification, so there's no studying involved. And it's evidence and achievement based assessment, and everything is done virtually. Now, you might be asking, am I eligible for going through a group experience assessment? The answer would be yes, if you are one of 5 people in the same organization that want to become members of the CIPD, and you have at least 1 year at the level that you're applying for in the last 5 years. And when I say level, I mean the level of membership. As you can see, we have 3 different levels of membership at the CIPD, starting with the associate membership, the chartered membership, and the fellow member of the CIPD. We'll talk more into detail about the memberships as we go. Now, the GEA process, to know more about how it all starts, what does it include, and how it ends. To start, all the participants would be using the online tool, the pre-assessment online tool. And it's a tool where it has a few questions that starts assessing the individual. It takes about 30 minutes to complete online. And after you're done, automatically you'll be sent a report from the CIPD telling you which level of CIPD membership you would be expected to finish at after you're done with your experience assessment route. And then after that, you would be sharing the report with us along with your updated CV. And if there is a need to have a discussion, if anything is not clear, if there's a need to have a discussion with a CIPD assessor, that would be set up for the individual and the assessor to have more clarity on the job role and the experience. After that is all done and we know what levels the participants are going to be assessed at, we go ahead and invoice the organization or the stakeholder for the whole service of GEA. And then we start with the GEA process. It usually starts with a webinar to all delegates with a CIPD assessor, explaining to them what to expect in the GEA assessment, what kind of reports is expected of them, and the timelines. And it's also a great opportunity for all participants to be asking their questions to the CIPD assessor. If they have any doubts, anything that is not clear, now would be the best time to do that. And then there's a portal of the GEA that is open online. You can log in and log out as many times as you want and submit your reports and work on your reports as you go. And the portal will be open for a duration of 8 weeks. And then once you're done with submitting the 3 reports within the experience assessment, you will have a 2.5-hour conversation with or discussion with a CIPD assessor to make sure that you've submitted your reports correctly, to have more clarity, Q&A around your role and your achievements. And then the assessor will take all that information and assess the whole project, the whole submission of the individual, and send you the final report along with the membership. The whole process takes about 4 months from the beginning till the very end.
This slide is just to reiterate again the previous one, but it has more details about the reports. As I mentioned earlier in my session, there are 3 main reports that you will have to work on in those 8 weeks, which is the knowledge and impact report, the behavior report, and your professional development report. Once you've submitted those 3 reports, you will be sent details to have that call or that meeting, online meeting with your CIPD assessor that takes, as I said, 2 to 2.5 hours. And we use different platforms. It depends on the client, on the organization, what they feel more comfortable using, whether it was MS Teams or Zoom or WebEx. And after you're done with the professional discussion, we get all that information and submit your final report along with your membership. Okay. As I said, in the 8-week online assessment, it's flexible. You can log in and out for as many times as you need. You can absolutely work on your reports and submitting your reports anytime, anywhere you want. And you have a lot of resources and materials already on the portal to give you added guidance and support. Plus, you can always contact your project manager from CIPD at any time. You'll have his or her email address, and you can send them emails and questions to guide you if more guidance and support are needed. This is a screenshot of the experience assessment portal. I'm not sure if it's a bit small in font because it's a screenshot, but it gives you an idea of what to expect, what it looks like. If you could see on the upper right corner, it says time remaining 48 days. So it kind of gives you the countdown of how many days are left in your experience assessment, what progress you've done on your 3 reports. It will show that. You can keep on logging in and out and editing that for as many times as you want. Once you're sure of your reports, once you're sure of your submission, you go ahead and submit that on the portal. Besides the dashboard, you'll see that you also have a tab for resources that would be very beneficial for you to go for added guidance, for ideas, anything, articles and essays that you need to back up your experience and your reports with. You can access it through the resources, and of course you have the guidance and support, plus the project manager that is always available to help you through the experience assessment route. What makes it special? As I keep saying, your dedicated project manager and the admin support that you get from CIPD, the flexibility of GEA. So we have flexible schedules. We work according to your timeline. So for example, if an organization approaches us and they say we have 5 or 6 people that we want them to go through a group experience assessment, and we want to start, let's say, mid of Feb or end of February, or whenever they want, we will make that happen for them. And of course, you get the webinar and the briefings for the candidates before they start their assessment, and the individual support for each one of you and the group support as well. And you get the review impact report, self-assessment, and the self-assessment prior to deadlines to provide advice and guidance as well before you submit your reports. You get regular contact from the CIPD project manager and assessor as you go in the process of writing your reports. And we provide regular updates to your organization or to the stakeholders in your organization on the progress of the group and how everything is going for them. And of course, you get your calibration sessions, and which gives more, more understanding and more strength to the people going through the experience assessment together at the same time. At the end, of course, we provide the individual report and an organizational insights report that we share with the stakeholders in your organization. The CIPD membership, as I mentioned earlier as well, we have 3 different tiers of membership: the associate membership, the associate member, chartered member, and the chartered fellow. We would be able to give you an indication, which is usually about 99% accurate when you do your pre-assessment and when we screen your CV before starting the assessment, and we'll be able to tell at which level of membership you'll be finishing your experience assessment route with us. And as a result of that, you become a member of the CIPD. Now, what's in becoming a member of the CIPD? What are the benefits? As you can see, there are multiple benefits, and we've changed as well a lot of things to make it more, more valid or valuable for members here in the Middle East. So you get access to the Knowledge Hub of the CIPD. You have your own username and password to access the Knowledge Hub. You get the news and updates on the go from CIPD, and you will also get sent the People Management e-magazine. Of course, for your career development, there's the professional credibility, because you could actually use the letters, the designated letters after your name, and you get your career support directly from CIPD, and you have the privilege as well to access different learning content that's only available for members of the CIPD and not for the public. You get to grow your network, you get to attend CIPD conferences and events. And of course, if you wanted to join any of our public training courses, you also get a preferential discount or price as a member of the CIPD. So as I mentioned earlier, we want to host 2 of our newest members who just went through our group experience assessment, and they are with us online today. Gavin and Hussein, I cannot thank you enough for being with us today and taking the time to be with us today. I'm just trying to unmute Hussein, or if I could ask Hussein and Gavin to unmute themselves.
Yes, sure.
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you've unmuted. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for taking the time, Gavin and Hussein. Gavin and Hussein are both HR business partners who work at the same organization. They were within a group of 5 people who did the group experience assessment. Gavin was able to finish his experience assessment at a fellow member level, and Hussein finished his experience assessment at a chartered level member, which is amazing results. And just I have a couple of questions, and it's just going to be a discussion, or I'll leave the floor to you guys to let me know what was the experience like, and how do you think this has added value to your professional progress in your careers.
Hussein, do you want to go first?
Yeah, fine. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for hosting us in this amazing session, and to share with you our experience that we have with this experience assessment. We did it as a group. First of all, I'm here to represent myself. Ideas, thoughts, all belong to me, not my employer or the company. So we did this group assessment, and thanks to Gavin, who was the main coordinator for this group assessment. We did it for upstream in our company. We went over the process, just like mentioned by Jan here. There was experience, collection. You remember from the history you collected, you reflect those 5 years, the recent 5 years, even if you are, like for me, I have 15 years of working experience, but they were looking for the recent 5 years just to confirm the full experience that you are in, and to relate, to connect to the level that we are assessed against. It has a lot of work to do, but it pays off at the end with the great level. And also we had a report about our strength and our weaknesses, or areas of improvement, I would say. So that help us also in the long term. It's not just we did the experience assessment and that's it, and we have that title. No, it's give you the plan, the way ahead, so you can even become more stronger, and you can also make more impact to the area, the company that you are working for.
Great, thank you. Gavin, what's your take on your experience with group experience assessment?
Yeah, I mean, just building on what Hussein said, I mean, I think for me, the main benefit of the process or experience is the reflection on your own learning, because you actually realise going through this process that you know more than you maybe realise, and it's only going through the process and making you sort of consolidate it all in one place in relation to the standards and the criteria set by the CIPD and the profession map that you actually know quite a lot, as it were, or you know more than you realise. So it's a good sort of process to reflect on your own learning. So that's from a sort of personal perspective. I think from your role as an HR professional in an organisation, it also gives you a really good sense of why things happen in a certain way in your organisation, because you're required to really think about the systems and processes in your organisation, and how things link to the strategy of the business, and basically why HR does things in a certain way, because you might not think about that in your day-to-day job, but you're required to sort of think about, well, what's the business strategy, and then how does HR people strategy complement that? So why do we do these things, and why do we not do other things? And then also for me as an expatriate working in the Middle East, it gives you a good reflection on the cultural perspective as well, because you might do things in a certain way in, for example, the UK where I'm from, but things might happen in a different way in the Middle East, and then you have to think about why that is and what's the benefits of that, but what are the opportunities change. So in summary, I think you really do learn going through the process. It's not just a case of, well, I know this and I put it into a box. You learn a lot about yourself, you learn a lot about your organisation, and I think, as Hussein alluded to, you also then learn about maybe your gaps or areas where you're not so strong, so you can then go and enhance those and round those out, rather than just focusing on the areas that you know a lot about, and then you tend to sort of do that. So overall, I would say it was a very pleasant experience. I mean, as Hussein said, it's quite a lot of work. You have to devote the time, but at the end of the day, and I think all the people that did it in our organisation would say they enjoyed it, which I think is a good testimony. That's me. Back to you.
That's great. Thank you very much, Gavin and Hussein. If I had just one more question to ask you, it would be what kind of advice, what advice would you give to a team who's looking to embark on their experience assessment journey?
Hussein, do you want to go first again?
Yes, let me just feed you. Just like Jan. Do you see me?
Yes, we see you, Hussein. Nice to see you.
Hi. Yeah, so for the advices, from my experience, I would say you need to prepare very well for the day of assessment. Even you start from the invitation, from the webinar that you attend online. Preparation include that you will prepare and bring everything that you have done in the past, whether it's small or big projects or small. All of these will sum up, will get together to build the assessment and the experience that you are being assessed against. This includes also availing the right time and the right place, quiet place. For now, most of people, they are working from home. So you have kids, you have wife, you have dogs, cats. You need to isolate yourself for 3 hours. And it was, yes, actually 3 hours. When I received the invitation, they told me it's a 3 hours assessment. I said, they are kidding, it's not. But it's, yes, it took 3 hours from my time, actually. It was a great time, great experience. Even the assessor, is it okay to mention names or?
Fine, yeah, well, it's up to you.
Yeah, so I had a good assessor also, Georgia, I remember. She was friendly. It's not like investigation, and she doesn't give you the feeling to be in a bad position. No, you are talking as a friends. She was exploring the experience that I gone through. Actually, she helped me to remember some of the experience I did not report it, or I missed to report it in my report. She was asking good questions.
I'm sorry, Hussein, but I just wanted to cut you here. I'm really sorry, but this is actually a very good point, because I haven't done experience assessment myself, and now hearing this from you, I just wanted to say that the whole purpose of doing the experience assessment is not to interrogate the candidates who are going through experience assessment. We actually want to help you be successful in this route. So yes, our assessors, as you said, they are friendly, and we don't really give you the impression, the feeling that, oh, you're being questioned and investigated about everything that you've done. Of course, you have to provide evidence of all the projects and the great things that you've done at work, because we need to see that. But in essence, it's great that actually Georgia helped you remember the things that you've done as well. Yeah, so exactly. That's what I wanted to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I was thankful for, because we did the projects and then we move. We forget about it. We have it in the drawers, but that was a good venue to collect all of these, order all of these, arrange them in a good way, and have them ready for presentation, for whatever knowledge sharing or others. They are ready now, and we can share it with everyone, not only with the assessment. Also, I would say prepare before and after to release your nerves. Assessment by its name, you get nervous, and this is assessing your experience and so on. So you get to release some of your nerves, watch movies, sport, play with the kids, dogs. And for that, I just want to mention one thing that I had after the assessment, because we sit for 3 hours. We had some breaks in between, but I was wearing the pants, and the belt was somehow pushing on my nerves. So after that, I couldn't walk for 1 week, really. Yes, I visit the hospital. They told me this is a very long seating time, so you need to move. So
you need to be wearing comfortable clothing while you're doing your final assessment. Okay.
You can wear a jacket at the top, pajama at the bottom.
Okay. That's good advice.
Yeah, be yourself, be normal, don't act. They are not, again, judging you based on something or questioning your experience, but they are just to confirm your experience and match it, connected to the right level. Be proud of whatever you did, whether small or bigger projects. They all add on to your experience, whether bad or good experience. They called experience. And I think that's it. That's from my side. Maybe Gavin can add more for sure.
Great, thank you so much, Hussein.
Okay, I'll see if I can put my video on as well. Not sure if that.
Yes, your video is on. We can see you, Gavin.
Okay. So to again build on what Hussein said, I mean, I'm not going to talk about what I was wearing or what I was doing. My advice would be 3 main areas. One would be start gathering your evidence as early as possible. And by evidence, I mean you have to supply, evidence of work product in your organization. So you can't just say that you've done things. You have to have evidence of it through reports or presentations. So that can take time, because I know that people then get concerned about confidentiality and can they share information. So there's a whole process to go to that CIPD can support you with. But I would say that it's not just about saying things or writing things. You have to actually provide evidence, and that process can take time. So I wouldn't leave that until the last minute. The other thing I would say, if you're doing this as a team, and this webinar is about the group experience assessment, where you'll be doing it with 3 or more people from your organization, it would be worth then discussing with your team who's going to be discussing what sort of types of evidence, or what projects or assignments or things that you've been doing in your organization. I know that we did that in our organization, because what you don't want is for 3 or 4 people to be talking about the same thing. I mean, it might be that you all worked on it, but you need to consider what aspects of it, what parts of it are different people going to be putting forward, because you are expected to be almost quite selfish in your write-up, and you say, I did this and I did that and I did the next thing. You can't be saying, we did this. More.
Yeah.
Because the assessors are assessing you, they're not assessing the team. So although your normal sort of thing might be to be self-effacing or modest, you have to be very sort of, this is what I did, as if you were the only person that did it. But that's not the reality of organisations. So therefore you have to do a bit of planning around that, in terms of, you can't have 3 people claiming that I did this. That might look a bit strange. So that would be one piece of advice, just in terms of organising the sort of projects within your team. And then within your own write-up, I would say that it's worth mapping out what pieces of your own experience or evidence you're going to use for different parts of the process. There's different criteria and different standards that you need to meet. So what you might find is that the same piece of work or the same piece of evidence might fit in as examples in different things, different areas. So what you end up finding is you move things around. It's like moving pieces around a chessboard, in terms of, well, that might be a good example of this competency, but it might actually be a better example of that competency. So you then need to have, other pieces of evidence that you can move in to backfill that. So, you need to leave time for that as well. So, it's not something that you can just cram at the last minute, would be my overall advice. You couldn't just sort of do it and you know, crash it in a weekend. You really need to take time over. You know, I mean, you get 2 months to do it, but you really need to be sort of, you know, doing a bit at a time over that time rather than leaving it all to the last minute. I think that would be my 3 main pieces of advice. Back to you.
Great. Thank you very much, Gavin. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Gavin and Hussein. So I think we've come to the end of our session today. I just want to make sure I did not miss on any slides. Yes, of course, there are questions. I can see there are a few in the chat. So I'm just going to open the chat panel and see, or if anyone from the CIPD team could tell me, because I haven't been reading the questions.
Sure, Jane. We've actually been through as a team, and we've answered. We've had 4 questions already, and we've answered those on the chat panel. But please, if anybody feels that they would like more of an answer, please come back and pop something in the chat panel, and we'll open up your question again. Vicky asked about, could she start the process halfway through level 7 studies? And I think Rahul responded that actually at the end of level 7 studies, you'll become an associate member in any case. Hind asked about payment, and as Jane has put up on the screen, we have an email address. If you would like information about payment, please email Jane and she'll come back to you with details on payment and any other part of the process if you'd like some more information. Chris asked about whether this process replaces the upgrade process or is it an alternative process. And Chris, as Sarah and Rahul have outlined, the upgrade process is slightly different, and actually it's a shorter process as well. So I think Sarah sent you the link. And then Sidra asked about, does she need to become a member to go through the EA process? And Sidra, as Rahul has said, once you complete EA with us, you become a CIPD member, and then we'll notify you about your annual renewals. Yeah. So I think at the moment, Jane, those are the questions. Does anybody else have any questions?
No. Okay. Thank you so much, Tina, and thank you so much, CIPD team, for keeping an eye out on the chat box and helping with answering the questions. If no one has, does anyone have any questions, any notes, anything before we end the session? Going once, going twice. Okay, I think someone is angry. I will mute again all participants. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us. Thank you for your time, and I hope this was of benefit to you and gives you a new option or a new way of how to become a CIPD member if you do not wish to go through the qualifications and you just want to assess your experience as a group. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, everyone who's writing in the chat box. Marin as well, thank you. And we hope we'll be able to see you in future sessions as well. Will you share the presentation? Sony, yes, we will share the presentation with the emails that you have registered with. We'll send you this. Shruti, thank you. Thanks a lot. Great. Have a great rest of your afternoon, everyone. Stay safe and stay well. Great. Thank you. Goodbye.